They're so annoying. That class is so loud. Anyways, this is the book we're going to be reading for that class. So I want to bring my own copy so I can do what I want with it and in it. And this copy that I got is all marked up. I don't mind that. I actually like that. If you don't know what The Great Gatsby is, it's about this guy named Nick who moves to New York to learn like the banking industry or something along those lines, something in finance, I believe. And he rents this little house that's kind of like on this wedge of land in between these $1 million houses. And one of his neighbors is Gatsby. He doesn't know who that is yet, but one of his neighbors is Gatsby. And so he gets invited to a party over there at Gatsby's, and Gatsby's like this elusive character that it takes a while before you get really introduced to him. And you don't really know like what he's all about. You're like, this guy doesn't make any sense. He's rich, he has lavish parties. You end up finding out that he's got this never-ending love for this lady who's married that lives like on a different island than them. Her name is Daisy, and that is Nick's cousin. Second cousin once removed, apparently. And so how Nick becomes entangled in this web of affairs and rich people shit. It's actually really good. And I love the Leonardo DiCaprio version of the movie of this, so I hope that we get to watch it. It's not up to me though, because I'm just a push-in on this class, and essentially that means I'm like co-teaching it. The next book, the audio came in for this, and I wanted to read this one with audio, like maybe kind of both. It will be my first Ali Hazelwood, and it is Bride, which is it a werewolf and a vampire book? Misery Lark. Imagine naming your daughter Misery. Misery Lark, daughter of a powerful vampire councilman, is an outcast. Her days of living anonymously among the humans are over. She has been called upon to uphold an alliance between the vampires and the mortal enemies, the Wares. Wares are ruthless and unpredictable, and their alpha, Lowmoreland, is no exception. He rules his pack with absolute authority, but not without justice or feeling. It's clear from the way he tracks Misery's every movement that he does not trust her. If only he knew how right he was. Misery has her own reasons to agree with this marriage of convenience, reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to get back what's hers. So, I'll give it a shot. I think it's romance. It's fantasy, it's romance, so it's romantasy, right? We'll see. I started this book. Now, March is memoir March, right? So this is the memoir that I picked, and I picked it up the other night, and I accidentally read like 100 pages in one sitting because I was gonna wait till March. I did not, so I'm already like halfway through it. What page am I at? This was in one sitting. I read to page 143. It's easy reading. There's a lot of like blank pages like that, so whatever, but this is about a woman that wakes up in her bed with her husband, and her husband is voice messaging another woman. I think what he says is, I just can't quit you. And so her life is just, she's just shocked, she's distraught. She packs up her kids, or I can't remember, she heads to like her mom's house, and her mom's waiting there with open arms. Her siblings, she calls her siblings, they're all there. I'm like, okay, this is a lady that has a big support system. This is a very privileged woman, okay, because she's going through all this. She makes money, her husband makes money, like she's got struggles, right? But she's got a support system. Her freaking friends come over, her girlfriends come over and build her a porch. Like, that's the kind of support system than this lady has. But she's going through it. Her heart is aching, and that story is something we've all kind of known, right? Well, not all. Some of us haven't been betrayed, but in smaller ways, maybe. Anyways, yeah, I picked it up and read 155 pages, and I think it's just about her getting back on her feet and counting on her friends and family and going through this grieving process. They've got 5 kids, okay? And she does touch on the kids, but without... She says that she makes it a point not to, like, put their story out there, but just, like, how she could see in each of her kids how it affected them differently, you know? Really good. I'll probably finish this within a couple days, if not one more day. I didn't want to finish it in February because I wanted it to be a memoir March book. Now, speaking of not wanting to start one, I almost started this one. I had it sit on the couch, and my husband was like, "Whoa, that's a big one." And I said, "Well, yeah, because March is also March of the Mammoths, which is where you pick up your mammoth books, or book. I'm not going to get through 2 mammoths in 1 month. And so this is the mammoth that I picked. It is The Will of the Many. Hierarchy book 1, there's 2 so far out. I don't know if there's going to be a 3rd or not. And it's still shorter than Lonesome Dove, which I believe is the longest book I've ever read. There's a glossary, a character thing in the bag, but $6.75. So yes, it's huge, but I do believe I don't know, I'm not gonna begin to guess how long Lonesome Dove was. Anyways, this is my mammoth pick. And this is about it's fantasy. It's about a system where the pores have to give their free will up the ladder in like this pyramid scheme thing. So everybody at the bottom will have no will, almost no will. Next level, a little bit of will. Next level, more will. And then the people at the top 1% have like free will, right? But somebody is going to be a plant. The Captain Republic, the hierarchy may rule the world now, but they do not know everything. I tell them my name is Telemus. I tell them I was orphaned after a tragic accident 3 years ago, and that good fortune alone has led to my acceptance into their most prestigious school. I tell them that once I graduate, I'll gladly join the rest of civilized society in allowing my strength, my drive, and my focus, what they call will, to be leached away and added to the power of those above me, as millions already do. As all must eventually do, I tell them that I belong, and they believe me. The truth is, I have been sent to the academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that tear the Republic apart, and I will never ever cede my will to the empire that executed my family. To survive, though, I will have to rise through the academy's ranks. I will have to smile, make friends, pretend to be one of them, and win, because if I cannot, those who want to control me, who know my real name, will no longer have any use for me. And if the hierarchy finds out who I truly am, they'll kill me. So, kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, pretty excited about it. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to like take a lot of notes, use a lot of tabs to understand this, because it's not my typical genre. This is my first calendar year is told. We know that there's two sisters, right? There's one that was considered, they're half Japanese, half, what is their dad? He's European. The firstborn daughter is considered homely, and the second one is considered like monstrously beautiful. Like, she cannot be picked apart. Everywhere they go, people are like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay. And they ask the other women, like, are you guys related to her? Like, who is this with you? And so it's like this, they always feel like, ugh. Even the mom, like, people, like, yes, that's my daughter. And they'll be like, and so she gets, like, weird about it, too. Anyways, the oldest daughter is the one that's, like, telling you the story. And it's completely, you're completely aware that she hates her sister, her younger sister. But you're also getting journal entries from that sister's. And before she'll, like, introduce you to a journal entry, she'll be like, well, a lot of this is lies, but I'll let you read it. And she's got a lot of hate in her heart, too. Like, they're weird. They are very weird. But the one that was considered, like, really pretty, she uses her looks, like, right off the bat. And in a way, it's not fair because people always treated her like that. Like, oh, who is this doll, kind of. And so she just started, like, leaning on it. And then, like, older men do stuff to her. And she's warped. And so she just, like, uses her looks and her body, like, starting from an early age, I think 15, she starts to use her body for money. And I mean, that's what she has a plan. And anyways, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Also, another girl that they went to school with ends up getting looped into that line of work, and oh, my stomach's gonna growl. I need to eat. Anyways, it's really good so far. I'm about halfway into that one. And then almost done with Hamnet, and when I'm done, I'm going to rent the movie. It's supposed to be Shakespeare's son's name was Hamlet, and apparently Hamnet and Hamnet are the same name, so I think it's supposed to be a retelling of Shakespeare's real life. Has it been told in the first place? Maybe a telling, a retelling, I don't know. And I do know a little bit about the background of Shakespeare, because every year we have to do Romeo and Juliet, and so it'll go into the background. Essentially, Shakespeare did abandon his family to go write plays, and he would only see them every so often, and his wife's name was Anne Hathaway. Crazy enough. So this is Hamnet. It is by Maggie O'Farrell. There is a movie, as I said, you can rent it through Prime. Now, 1580s England, a Latin tutor falls in love with a gifted healer. Their marriage faces devastating loss when bubonic plague strikes their twins, one of them being Hamnet, inspiring one of literature's greatest masterpieces. So in the book, you're following what would because that's going to be like my on-break read. It's called Fair Rosaline. Oh, there's Rosaline and Fair Rosaline. I don't see how that's possible. Maybe one's in a different language. Anyways, this is by Natasha Salamans. I did start it, but I picked it up the day that I finished Giovanni's Room, so I couldn't, because Giovanni's Room is, so I'm gonna get into it more this week, but it is how many retellings and tellings am I gonna read this month? A feminist retelling exposing Romeo as a predator. Romeo is a dirtbag, targeting young girls. When Rosaline rejects him, he pursues 13-year-old Juliet, leaving Rosaline racing to save her cousin's life. We just finished Romeo and Juliet, the play, and we do have a little project, a little HMH project that's called Romeo is a Dirtbag. It's about, somebody wrote an article called Romeo is a Dirtbag, and so that is where, like, we get into the talk of, like, what Romeo was. Like, we already talked about it because he was in love with Rosaline. That night he falls in love with Juliet. Like, we know that. But it's cool to hear the kid's thoughts. Is he not? Is he just, desperate? Is he absorbed with, like, looks? Is it one of those out of sight, out of mind type of things? Like, what is going on with him? And this is a whole book of him being the dirtbag, Okay, I think that's it, yeah. Awake, The Will of the Many, Bride, Great Gatsby, Grotesque, Hamnet, and Beth is Dead. And then the one I just talked about, Fair Rosaline. Alright, let me know what you're going to read this month. If you watched this all the way to my Goodreads account is down below, but I am on Fable too. I need to link that. I've been using Fable more. I need to put that into my description box, but for now, Goodreads is down there. If you watch this all the way to the end, thank you very much. I hope you have a good rest of your